Okay, so hi everyone. Thanks for joining our next contributor experience meeting. So today, I think everyone who joined already know each other, so no need to do introductions. Okay, and let me start sharing screen to see what we have on the agenda today. So far, only two topics were proposed. One is by me. I wanted to talk about Argo CD old pull requests, and basically we can decide what we want to do with some of good old but good PRs. And then next we worked recently on reorganizing Argo CD binaries, and basically the discussion happened mostly within Intuit team, and we wanted to share what we decided to do and what we're proposing to do with the community. So, and I'm going to jump to the first topic, which I wanted to discuss. So, as you might notice that we have a lot of outstanding PRs, like 62 open PRs, and most of them are kind of old and hard to merge. And so we would we do this triaging process every day, and we're trying to at least promptly review new PRs, but these ones kind of just hanging here. And basically we were thinking to just close them because it's really hard to, unlikely we can find contributors who created these PRs like a year ago. We basically let them sleep already. And that was first idea to just go ahead and close them. And recently I attempted to close some of them and basically the very first PR which I was thinking to close, it had like a comment maybe from like last week. So there was a user and that user was asking to continue working on that PR. And basically that list which I'm showing right now is an example of such PR. So this is a feature that people want. Like, there is a lot of interest in being able to delete application using the CLI and wait for successful deletion. Next is Jan's PR to have proper CRCF validation. So that's why I've got this second idea. So maybe we can try to complete some of those PRs. And I started working on this as an experiment just to see what it takes. And apparently it's not that bad. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to either take over this PR or push my basically changes for my own comments into the fork of that contributor. And this is basically one way to, kind of get rid of that PR, but not close it and instead merge it, kind of complete it and merge it into Argo CD. Yeah, that's, so just to summarize, two options: try to find the most valuable ones and take them over and merge them, or just close all of them. Yeah. What do you think, guys?
And what's about to reach out to the guy who submitted the PR?
Yes,
like in that case, it's Adam Johnson. I think he's the one who contributed the sync windows feature, right?
Yes, you're right. And I feel like it's almost this same amount of work. If you reach out to that person, it would be really bad to reach out, get new portion of improvements, and then forget about again about that PR. So to me, it's basically the same amount of work.
Yeah, you're right.
But it's, yeah, let's say either take over or reach out and work with original contributor or close. Yeah. So, but it's kind of, yeah, to me, it's almost the same decision. And I feel like we kind of, I'm pretty sure everyone agree that we want to merge good PRs. It's just, yeah, we're looking for volunteers. And I'm kind of, I pretty much volunteered to work on this one already. And yeah, so if anyone wants to help, that would be useful. And pretty much that list, like most of those PRs are good, and we can, yeah, maybe I don't know the best way how to. There are some PRs that are not going to be merged and sitting there because there was some discussion and basically we kind of disagreed with the proposal and didn't close PR. These ones we should close, I think, right away, and remaining ones are valuable.
So is
And
there a pruning of this list that needs to be done still? Okay. This.
But I was kind of surprised that the pruning, I think we will close maybe 10, but most of them are good. That's why I I wanted to talk about it. Like pretty much a lot of those PRs are useful features.
Yeah, and how will we make the decision whether to close it or to further work on it? So for my part, I can say I see one of mine there. I think that's one to close. It's quite intrusive change, and I think with the same side cookie, we mitigated the CSRF attack vector almost to 0. So yeah, this one is, I think if I would think it's important and useful, I would have completed it by now. So
so how about we take it offline and I can just copy paste this link of these PRs and into Google Doc, and then we can like basically have a wait till next meeting, and then we should make decision for each PR.
Can we maybe put up a doodle or something like that? A voting.
You mean leverage GitHub to do the voting?
No, some external tool. So just like I don't know if people want to vote.
Yeah, I'm open to. Basically, I don't know what tool we could use. Google Docs is the simplest possible one. We just kind of vote using comments. If there is better one,
okay. No, makes sense. It's okay.
Okay, then let me. Yeah, so maybe can we chat again offline if you know that tool that you're referring to? We could use that tool. If not, then sure. Google Doc will work. I mean, it won't be perfect, but it can. Yeah, and then I think we'll just try to kind of, in some free form, put our thoughts and explain why the PR has to be closed, and yeah, and then next week we will have. It's going to be pretty much. It's pretty much our backlog, but. Good thing about that backlog is that there is already useful discussion and some design decisions were made. We just need to close and do the last step to merge the pair.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Thank you. If there are no other comments about it, let's move to the next topic. So Sharma, she worked on binaries redesign, and can you give update, please, about the proposal and progress?
Let me share my screen.
I'm going to stop sharing.
As a part of new feature, we are reorganizing the binaries in order to reduce the image size. So the idea was to merge all the backend binaries into a single binary, which would also include the Argo CD CLI image, and to split out the DEX wrapper from the Argo CD util and move it to the backend binary in order to save the space. So after we got the suggestion from the Jan on the busy box approach, how it works is a single binary can behave differently depending on how it is being called. So based on the symlinks, it can change its behavior. So finally, we are proposing that we would merge all the binaries, that is Argo CD CLI, util, server, application controller, and the repo server into one single binary. So what it would do is, so right now, each one of these binary is approximately 70 megabyte. So if we combine all, like if instead of building 7 binaries, we build one, it would save us approximately 420 megabytes of image size. Um, and it would also reduce the build time. So instead of building 7 main.go files, we would be building only one. And also we would be moving the dex from Argo CD util to a new command, that is Argo CD dex. So after the PR is merged, how it will work is, so right now, this is the binary that I built. And so based on the name, so let's say if I give the binary name to be Argo CD server, and then you see the binary would be called as the Argo CD server. And then, for example, if I call the binary as um, Argo CD repo server, then it would behave as the repo server, and so on. Like just the Argo CD, then it would behave as the CLI Argo CD image. So that's the high level of, like, the PR is still in progress, but once it's merged, it would behave like this. So if anybody has any questions or any suggestions, we can take on that.
And I wanted to highlight that so as Sharma mentioned, there are basically two ways you can control how binary behaves. One is environment variable, and second, just the name of the binary itself. So end users won't notice any difference because we're going to create symlinks with different names. Basically, it will look like we still have 7 binaries, but in reality, they're all going to be symlinks. But developers will be affected. We will have to use that environment variable. So because now we have 7 main.go files, and each main.go kind of knows what to do. After PR is merged, there will be just one main.go file, and it's, of course, painful to create symlinks, and you want to use basically go run to develop. And as a workaround, there is this environment variable.
What will be the default if you don't have the environment variable and you also rename the binary to like something weird?
I don't know. That's
What can we make that actually just the client CLI?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah, that's the most likely scenario. It's like someone downloads the C binary and then renames it. Because sometimes like I'll rename, oh, I like this version 1.7, I want to keep that around because it has it, and I'll rename it Argo CD.
Oh yeah, good point. That
dash 1.7 or something.
I didn't think about that. But you're right, people might want to have multiple binaries and call them Argo CD-V1, Argo CD-V1.2.
Exactly. Yeah. And they won't do that for like repo server or backend stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. They might do, I don't know, they might do with Argo CD util, but that's probably not a case we care about, I guess.
We'll figure that out in the approval process of the PR. But that's actually, it's very awesome change. I like it. I really like it.
I see a question from Daniel. Why use environment variables to differentiate subcommands? Yeah, so the original goal was to kind of merge all the binaries into one. And the reason is because each binary pretty much has the same code, which is Golang standard Golang runtime plus Kubernetes client, which we import. So this is why each binary is quite big, but it has the same code. So if we merge them into one, we save a lot of disk space. Plus, we don't have to build the same binary, same Golang code again and again. Yeah. So if we merge them into one, next problem is how do we preserve all behavior? So, and in Sharma's PR, there is a code which checks how the binary name, basically. So if binary name looks like Argo CD server, then it behaves like Argo CD server. So, and finally, to answer your question, environment variables are for us, for developers. It's kind of a shortcut to change quickly binary behavior if you, because we, like developers usually use go run command to start the binary, and environment variable is a simpler way to control it. Does it make sense, Daniel?
Yeah, cool. My mic's working now. Kind of. Just thinking about it, because you can do go run. I'm just looking at the PR right now, so it's like you can do go run space Argo CD repo server just as an example, and then
I see.
pass whatever flags that you want from there. So I was just curious why the decision was made to use environment variables versus just kind of like a normal subcommand.
Understood. Yes, that's at least for, I think we could do it for backend CLIs, but it would be strange. Like if we package everything into one binary, then user, and if we use subcommands, user would have to deal with client-side subcommands and server-side subcommands. So instead of just typing Argo CD app create, user would have to say Argo CD client app create. So just to get rid of that client, we wanted to use environment variables because, basically to improve user experience.
Gotcha. If you're interested, I do have an idea how to work around that, but I don't want to like muddy up the meeting.
Say it again, please.
I was just saying that if you're interested, I do have a potential idea how you could still use subcommands while getting that behavior, but I don't want to eat up too much of the meeting discussing that, so I could like put a comment in the PR.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to put, comment in PR.
The environment, using environment variables doesn't sound, seems like I'm not sure this is better for user experience if you set environment variable to get different behavior of your same command. I tend to think maybe yes, we can combine the server command and have a client command.
But I agree, it's not the best user experience, and I think we chose an environment variables. It's like a worse user experience, but users who would use it are developers. So it's kind of
I think there's a couple I guess use cases. So the first one is that upgrading to this new style, it's like I have a repo server from 1.8 and then on 1.9 will have this new feature, right? One, we would like the existing repo servers not to change how they are invoked from the deployment manifest, like the pod spec for the command and args. It should still be Argo CD repo server and then whatever the flags are to start the server. So that will be taken care of the sim linking approach. Then there's the developer, like when you just say make start or make test EDE or like all those developer use case, those could be done. That experience is the one that we don't necessarily need to optimize for the best experience, because really that's just you're either doing an environment variable with the binary, like the version that you want to run in, or you're using a subcommand. The end users never actually experience that. Only the maintainers or contributors, I should say, to the project. And rather than having like a different ways to achieve the same thing, like subcommand or symlink, I think there would be 3 different ways, right? If we were to do this, I think we should reduce the number of ways to.
I now remember that was the argument. So we had exact same conversation recently, and there's too many ways to achieve the same was kind of counter.
Yeah, I was actually against environment variables initially, and then I didn't. Then I felt like there might be too many different ways to invoke the binary. Like sometimes a subcommand is in place, and then other times it's not in place. So I felt like the environment variable would at least give you a consistent CLI experience, because you know the second word of your command is going to be the command specific to a binary. Anyways, that was how my thought process evolved on this.
And to kind of clarify, let's say this PR is merged now, we would have to, so if you use Gorman to start servers or make commands, then basically you don't have to do anything, because we will, this PR will preset these environment variables in the script. But if you use, let's say, IntelliJ or Golang to start the repo server, for example, then you just need to modify your launch configuration and add one more environment variable once, and then just forget about it. So to me, it was not, didn't feel like, as long as it's documented and communicated, there is not a big problem how to.
So what is the size of the combined executable?
Oh, good question. Yeah.
It's let me check. It's 85 megabyte.
85 meg.
And it increased a little bit. I think it increased by 10 megabytes, or like 7 to 10 megabytes. I think it's kind of fluctuating. So,
and what is the current size again? Like on the client, just the client. How big is the client?
74.
74. Okay, so not.
I think it's kind of, it depends on when you build it. It might be 75, 74. Yeah. So it increases by maybe around 10 megabytes, and we felt it's still worth it.
Yeah, I tend to think maybe we can have a client, the Argo CD command, so the user can continue renaming to a version that they like. So, and then we can merge the server, then you can combine it into one. So yeah, you can use subcommand, or you can do. There's only on the server, so probably the users don't even see it. Where there's yeah, so the power is subcommand probably make more sense on the server, I think. That way you have okay, you reduce your total size together, but it doesn't really have an effect on the end user. Then they don't have to worry about environment variables set. They don't have to worry about. They can continue renaming the binary.
So with the unified binary for all 6 tools or 6 tools, the user will be able to rename their file. So in other words, they won't notice any difference in experience. Because when we're going to default the behavior, like if the binary is named weirdly, it will act as the client. The only difference the user would see is that it's inflated by 10 megabytes.
But I think we should not forget about the Argo CD util binary. So
that it's still that was motivation to start merging, is because so we needed to, if we want to make Argo CD util kind of famous, then we should start publishing it as a release artifact. So, and I think you merged that PR, you approved it recently. So we started building basically 3 more binaries in CI. And then we realized, okay, like we're building the same code so many times. So Argo CD client, we built 3 times for Windows, for Linux, for Mac, Argo CD util for Linux, for Windows, for Mac, and then several backend binaries. Yeah, so now if it's just the one kind of fat binary, which includes everything, we can build it once, basically 3 times for different platforms. And then in the release process, we just attach the same binary to the release, but like several times with different names, basically.
Yeah, but so if someone uses the Argo CD util and we are all agreeing on that the users will be using it more and more in the future because we are giving some more features.
Mm-hmm.
So now the users, they just cannot rename their binary as they want because otherwise they'll get Argo CD CLI instead
Yeah,
of Argo CD
yeah,
that
util.
is a consequence if you combine util with
Yeah.
this CLI. Yeah.
And
oh, you think now user lose ability to kind of rename Argo CD? Sorry, to rename Argo CD util to something else. Yes, that's
yeah, maybe also like the CLIs like Argo CD util v1.78, 1.8, and so on. Yeah.
they will
Right.
only like-
That is a consequence. We basically have two user-facing CLIs that are affected by how they're named.
I think Argo CD util is kind of, it's for people who know what they're doing. At least we should expect that they read documentation, because if you
Yeah.
if you use Argo CD util, you kind of have full cluster access, and you can
Yeah, you can also choose your way to the problem by guessing what their intent is based on the binary name, right? If the Argo CD util is incorporated into if you're unknown, okay, I don't recognize this binary name. Well, if it has Argo CD -util, it probably means they want to run it in a util fashion and not the client, not the CD. But yeah, I think these are probably discussions we can take. I think we all agree we should merge the backend binaries, right? And I think there is debate about whether the clients should merge. I had the my thought process was actually the exact same as a lot of the ones I think I'm hearing. Like I originally said, how are you going to make the client side one unified, because you're going to upload the same binary multiple times just with different names when as a release artifact. And Alex said, yeah, I mean, why should the user care that it's actually the same release artifact just renamed in our downloads. And that's a good point. Like they shouldn't care. It's
I thought about it too, and I feel like now we upload technically two different binaries, but they are 99% the same, and just 1% is that switch which says, oh, you're supposed to use this set of commands, not this. And that's why I was thinking, like, why don't we merge them and basically get rid of so much repetition in our image? But I think it's worth to discuss how to make sure that user experience is good. But I agree about the point that Argo CD util might cause problems, and maybe we can add help text right into the CLI and explain to user how he can switch between options. It's like,
yeah,
maybe we should merge the command line, like why we would have separate like Argo CD util and Argo CD. Maybe we should merge them. So
yeah, that's a separate topic that we can discuss about combining those. The reason it was, at least for now, kept separate was a lot of the functionality of the util was really intended for operators, people who have access to the namespace of the control plane Argo CD. And then whereas all the other Argo CDs are actually more end user operations who are managing their apps. There's an argument that you can make about maybe all the operator stuff should go in operator subcommand, and so you only have one CLI. That could be an option, but
okay.
I
if you
I
have
thought
the,
I thought exposing users to operators stuff might.
okay, well, if you merge them in, if you are building a Uber binary, it's user can still do execute that operation with that binary anyway. Maybe it's just a matter of it's a command, but then maybe we can there's a way we should document it so that they know, okay, this set of command is for different audience. Either way, it looks like is in the binary, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So,
think, but yeah,
I think that also the util we expected to kind of keep changing and breaking and whereas the CLI we expect people are going to rely on that for automation and scripts, like for as a stable thing, and the util was actually meant for operators. But that's evolving because we are now going to start encouraging operators to use util for declarative management of configuration, like convenience stuff. So yeah, it's something to reconsider.
And yeah, I feel like maybe it should be taken offline, but I will just suggest in PR to simply add a help text. So if name is unknown, then maybe CLI should behave as a client-side CLI, but the help text, when user tries to execute a command which is not supported, that help text can explain how to switch to util. It could say, "Oh, are you looking for util?"
Yeah, I
This is
think
how you
that's
can enable. It's like a
that's probably good. I think it can guess based on the binary name, like, and then if it's named completely like Jesse, then it's like, okay, I don't know what to do. Just set an environment group, or name it in a convention that we honor.
Okay, thank you. That was good. Lots of edge cases we can think about. So, okay, this is actually that's the end of our list. We don't have any more topics. Yeah, anything someone wants to discuss on the fly? Kind of. Right. So yeah, if there is nothing else, we can finish our day today again.
Yeah. Can someone post the PR to the chat if it's not there already? The PR we just spoke about the binary, just in case.
Shaman, do you want to post the PR to? That's what you were asking, right, William? You want?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Okay. So yeah, thank you everyone. See you next time again. Next Thursday.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
See you.